The House of the Dead by Dostoyevsky. My thoughts. I haven't read this book in 25 years. I'm now 47. This is probably the least of my favorite Dostoyevsky books, which automatically makes it 10 times better than every other book ever written, every other fiction book ever written, in my eyes. I don't remember much of it, but I'll tell you what I do remember, and then I'll read its synopsis and see if it sparks anything any memory. Okay, so basically, he wrote this when he got jailed in Siberia for participating in like a conspiracy against the government. And there's two main things I remember about this book. Number one, they did this mock execution where they told him they were going to hang him, and they brought him up to the noose and everything. And then at the last minute, they basically just said, haha, just joking. And he often recounts this in other books making the point that mental torture is worse than physical torture. And then the other thing that I remember is that he profiles the different types of criminals he met in there. And he mentions one type in particular, who he basically likens to Nietzsche's Superman, even though Dostoevsky came before Nietzsche. A certain type of person in jail who has no fear at all. They're almost like superhuman in their lack of fear. Now, if this review gets any encouragement, if you want me to, I can get my ex-girlfriend to join me for a proper review, because she told me last night that she reads this book every 3 years. So I think she knows a hell of a lot about it. The major task would be figuring out how to record a phone conversation, because I don't know how to do that. Okay, so here's the synopsis I found online. So it's a semi-autobiographical novel. It's very autobiographical. I think he wrote it on napkins while he was in jail, in prison, in Siberia. Imagine that, eh? Like, they say prisons are bad now. Imagine what they were like in the mid-1800s. It's structured as a fictional memoir of Alexander Petrovich Goryanchikov. He always has these long names. Russians have really long names. A nobleman convicted of murdering his wife and sentenced to 10 years in a labor camp. Through his perspective, Dostoevsky explores the brutal realities of prison life, the psychology of criminals, and the resilience of the human spirit. The character arrives at the prison in Siberia, a world utterly alien to him. As a former nobleman, he immediately feels out of place among the hardened criminals, many of whom despise aristocrats. The convicts wear government-issued rags, sleep in overcrowded barracks, and perform grueling labor in harsh conditions. I mean, none of this is a surprise. The prison is a place of unrelenting hardship. Food is scarce and barely edible, and punishments, including beatings and floggings, are severe. Despite the official rules, the prisoners have their own social hierarchy. Okay, that makes sense. Isn't that always the way it works in prison? There's common criminals, thieves, murderers, and con men who often fare better than political prisoners or noblemen, like the main character. Some inmates maintain a sense of humor and camaraderie, while others are cruel and vindictive. Gambling, bribery, and an underground economy flourish as prisoners barter for food and privileges. The main character quickly learns that prison life is not just about physical suffering, but also psychological torment. The prisoners endure back-breaking labor, cutting wood, bricklaying, and other menial tasks in freezing temperatures or under the scorching sun. The Shawshank Redemption. I bet you he breaks out of jail at the end. The punishments are arbitrary and brutal. The dreaded knout, Knout, a heavy whip, leaves lasting scars. Despite this, many prisoners show remarkable adaptability, managing to find moments of joy through storytelling, humor, or acts of kindness. Throughout the novel, the main character provides vignettes of various prisoners, each with their own tragic or darkly humorous story. Some are violent and ruthless, while others are surprisingly gentle or philosophical. There is Petrov, a hardened criminal who takes pride in his crimes, but also displays unexpected wisdom. Akimich. Dostoyevsky always does this. Peter Petrovich, Alyosha Alyosevich. I don't know how Russian names work. But this guy's a former officer imprisoned for a trivial offense who clings to military discipline and order. Luca, a mysterious prisoner who talks about repentance and morality but has committed unspeakable crimes. These characters highlight the diversity of the prison population and challenge conventional notions of good and evil. One of Dostoevsky's key themes in The House of the Dead is the complexity of human nature. No shit, that's always his theme. Some of the most brutal criminals display moments of deep compassion, while others who appear refined are capable of great cruelty. The main character himself undergoes a transformation. Initially distant and repulsed by the convicts, I'd feel that too. He gradually gains a deeper understanding of their struggles. Despite the dehumanizing conditions, the prisoners find ways to maintain their dignity. Some turn to religion, others to storytelling or small acts of defiance. One of the most striking moments in the book is when the prisoners stage a theatrical performance, temporarily escaping their bleak reality through art and self-expression. This event underscores Dostoevsky's belief in the redemptive power of creativity and the human spirit. Right on. After 10 years, the main character is finally released. Though physically free, he is forever changed by his experience. The novel ends on a somber note. Prison is not just a physical place, but a psychological state that lingers long after one leaves. I'll say personally, I spent 1 week in jail. Just 1 week. And I still have nightmares about it. Mainly about how you have to wait like an hour for every door to open or close. And as soon as I got out, I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe I have the ability to open and close a door whenever I want. The House of the Dead is both a powerful critique of Russia's penal system and a profound meditation on human suffering and resilience. Dostoevsky's first-hand experience as a prisoner gives the novel a raw authenticity, making it one of the most compelling works of prison literature in history. Well, everything he does is one of the most compelling, profound things in literature in history. Okay, so that's that. I really don't remember much of the book. Again, I read it 25 years ago, but I did remember those two key scenes, those two key elements. I'd like my friend to go on more about it if you'd like that, especially the part about how he met a certain type of prisoner who was almost like a Superman because they had no fear at all. They would kill anybody without a moment's thought. But I don't know, it's just that they were like fearless, like utterly fearless. They had no fear of like getting killed or anything. So that was pretty cool. Okay, well, let me know if you like this. Okay, bye.